transforming anger. After each bout of anger, we often feel regret and remorse for our foolish and inferior reactions. We know that every time we get angry, we lose our good image and diminish the trust and love in the eyes of others. So our heart keeps reminding us not to let anger control us anymore. However, when faced with adversity, especially when it harms our rights or dignity, anger seems to come uninvited. At that moment, even if others remind us, we brush it off, and reason must yield to emotions. From one failure to another, we gradually come to hate our own anger. Sometimes, we even turn to blame our parents for passing down such a temperament that causes suffering for ourselves and others. Actually, if the seed of anger within us is not nurtured regularly, it lacks the power to make us suffer. We unintentionally create it from small, annoying things in daily life that we may not even notice, such as traffic jams, waiting in line to buy things, unanswered calls from loved ones, unsatisfactory food, someone forgetting to greet us, and the troubles we cause ourselves, like grabbing the wrong keys, burning our mouths with hot drinks, slipping on stairs, not finding a book we're looking for, or recalling painful memories from the past. If we don't observe and gradually dissolve these subtle resistant reactions, anger will surely develop as a natural process. When the energy source of anger is almost default in our consciousness, just one unpleasant action or a slightly unfavorable situation is enough to trigger it. It quickly turns into a fierce anger that even surprises ourselves. When we notice that anger is rising and about to burst into words or actions, we should quickly find a way to separate ourselves from the object that triggered our anger. Ideally, we should sit in a quiet room or take a walk on a shaded path. If it's not possible to physically remove ourselves from the situation, then we should sit quietly, trying not to say another word or any explanation, even if we consider it reasonable. Any actions taken in a state of anger will lead to regret later. We should try to forget what the other person did or said to us and focus solely on our breathing to calm down the emotional storm. If we already have the skill of mindfulness in monitoring our breath, then just 15 minutes later, we will overcome it. Just like when our house suddenly catches fire, we should focus on extinguishing the fire to save valuable possessions inside, rather than hastily seeking revenge or punishing the suspected arsonist. That's the lowering resolution. Breathing is a very safe anchor whenever we're attacked by emotional storms and don't know what to do. However, if we keep relying solely on this method, we will never truly understand the nature of our anger. Without understanding our anger, we can never transform it and will always be bothered by it. Therefore, after cultivating the habit of reflecting on ourselves whenever we get angry, instead of seeking revenge, we should spend more time observing our anger. Focus on observing the process from when the anger surfaces in consciousness, drives us to action, until it dissipates. With experience, we will discover that anger isn't real. It's just energy generated from some glitches in the operation of the machinery of consciousness, such as misconceptions, exaggerated imagination, heightened emotions, or unguarded senses. So, by simply maintaining the ability to observe this process persistently, without prejudice, we will gradually see what triggers our anger and easily transform it. However, a common mistake we often make is expecting to instantly get rid of anger as soon as we start practicing. A habit formed over a long time cannot be changed overnight. The process of observing anger may bring unexpected discomfort in the early stages, but gradually we will get used to it and even find it very interesting, like watching an action movie. We just sit there observing our anger as if reclining in a seat watching a movie. In cases where it doesn't harm others, let our anger naturally arise, but unlike before, we observe it. Naturally, anger still occurs at its own pace, and we don't chase after it to extinguish it. We simply observe to understand how it operates. Each observation will give us a new insight into the impermanent nature of anger. Misconceptions within us will fall away. We need patience to train and adjust the operation mechanism of our consciousness, rather than seeking to suppress or control anger. When we haven't understood anger, even if we manage to control it, it's only a temporary solution.